This week, Venus is helping us to confront any instabilities, past disappointments in our relationships so that we can choose to be happy again. Venus is a planet that can signify choices, fulfilling our needs with a big focus on relationships. This week from September 5th until September 11th, Venus is finishing up its transit in Libra before it is going to switch signs into Scorpio, where we will be confronting trust issues. But more on that later in our upcoming horoscope. For now, what we're doing is that Venus is helping us to bring awareness to areas of our lives where we have instabilities and imbalances, where we are maybe confronting now past disappointments so that we can work through them. So this entire week, we're going to be working towards conclusions because Venus is helping us really identify what in our life is not working anymore. What's not working? What has to go? What is not fitting into the big picture? Why are we working on that? Because we are going to be in a place where we're going to start to realize for the first time that some things are coming to an end now. We're not the same person anymore because of all the intense stuff that we have gone through in the collective. We are now going to be looking at just working through the things by identifying what is not making us happy anymore. The week is going to end by us realizing what choices we have to make moving forward so that we can secure a better future. Two important aspects that I want to talk about that Venus is making this week. The first one is on September 5th, when Venus is going to be squaring Pluto. Now, all of the dates that I'm giving you are calculated for Eastern Standard Time because I live in Florida. So you want to make sure, if you want to get more into the times and into the dates on when this is going to be unfolding for you, make sure that you double check your time. But for me here, Eastern Standard Time, September 5th, Venus is going to be squaring Pluto. Venus squared to Pluto is going to be exact at 24 degrees. This is an intense energy. It is deep. It is transformational. It is an energy that is allowing for us to take a look at any kind of instabilities in our lives. It's about control issues, perhaps our addiction to some kind of control or some kind of power that is holding us in a particular place in our life that we're trying to overcome. And so that's what we're taking a look at with Venus and Pluto. Now, the reason we could be experiencing instabilities is because Pluto is in Capricorn and it is retrograding right now. So we are still in the review phase of any kind of instabilities, anything that is holding kind of any power over us. So Venus in Libra, when it is squaring to Pluto in Capricorn, it is going to be at 24 degrees. What are we taking a look at with this? Well, we're taking a look at some kind of instability, some kind of power struggle, some kind of addiction even, because Venus could deal with some kinds of needs or choices that we're making that is leading to some type of fulfillment. Now, sometimes it is good fulfillment, sometimes it's not going to be good fulfillment, right? And so we could be dealing with something that we're addicted to, some person we're addicted to, some kind of need that we have, we're trying to fulfill, except for this week, what is happening is there is some kind of instability that we're taking a look at. That is what I'm seeing here with this transit. I see that we are going to be taking a look at a need that used to fulfill us, but it's really not giving us what it used to anymore. Why is this happening? Because of what we've been working on all year long. We have been really changing a lot of our internal dialogue, and the narrative out there is about to change very much as we take a look at all the other transits that are going to be happening for the rest of the year. More on that later. But right now, what are we specifically working through in this week is that we are identifying things that used to give us any kind of satisfaction or happiness, but maybe it was something that we did and it was fine up until now. Now we are not feeling that way anymore. There is a shift that is happening that we are taking a look at that. Hey, you know, this is not something that I want to do for myself anymore. This is not the kind of person I want to hang out with anymore. These are not the vibes I want to experience anymore. Something is going to be shown this week that could also bring up somehow past disappointments. And maybe that is the reason why we were addicted to certain things in our life. So these are the types of themes that I believe we're going to be taking a look at with this particular transit. The good news is that the next day, September 6th, Venus is going to be trining Jupiter at 25 degrees. This is divine assistance, in my opinion. 25 degrees. This is the particular great of light. That is the way in which I look at it. This is what I like to really study in the astrology, is the particular type of degrees, what the particular degrees actually mean. And so with 25 degrees, my experience has been that we're taking a look at a grade here, a grade of light that is very much concerned with intuition, sensing, faith. This is going to be where I think that we are going to see that the gift this week is that we can make new experiences. There is an invitation with this Venus in Libra square to Jupiter in Aquarius, that there is an invitation to make a new experience in our life. And we might, if we stay open to it, if we allow for ourselves to open up to new experiences, new people, new ways in which we can fulfill our needs, we are going to realize that there is a different kind of happiness that we can move towards that we never realized before. So that is what the potential and the opportunity is. But again, it is always our job to open up to these types of things. So astrology only works if we work, right? There's going to be energies that influence us, but that is going to be a very big gift this week, is that we're realizing that we can find more happiness. And will you show up for it? That is going to be the question this week. So that is what we're taking a look at this week. Let's dive further into what that specifically means for you. Now, before we get started, real quick, I do want to mention any reading that I offer, tarot, astrology, different types of readings that I offer are available at upriseastrology.com. You can also go to the link down below where I have everything kind of listed. You can, as well as if you are wanting to support my work and contribute to my work, that link is provided as well. For your horoscopes, we will cover your chart, and we will also be drawing a tarot card. I love combining these two. It is a general reading, so you want to make sure that you keep this in mind. It is really difficult sometimes to give exact messages for every one of you out there. It's a general reading. We're going to be taking a look at general themes. So because of that, I am going to be using a specific chart here where you can listen to your sun sign or you can listen to your rising sign. So you can use one of two. These are going to be the best ways in which you could approach it. You can also just listen to the tarot messages for your sun, moon, or rising. The tarot messages, I love combining those two because it gives us a little bit more insight in the spiritual sense. So I love combining these two. If this is something that you like, stick around. We're going to cover all of the 12 signs. For Aries and Aries rising, the Venus-Pluto square is going to be happening between your 7th and your 10th house. The 7th house deals with relationships, contracts, bonds with others. The 10th house is the house of career, legacy, deliberate action, or your public reputation. Now, this is going to be a square where you are going to be discovering instabilities, maybe at the workplace, maybe with actions that you're trying to take, maybe some actions you took, but now they are leading to some kind of, breakdown or some kind of disappointment similar from the past, and is causing some friction in your relationship, contracts, or bonds to other people in your life. Now, your guiding message here is the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is basically telling me here to tell you that it's time to zoom out and pay attention to the bigger picture. There might be something that you're missing here, and that's the feeling that I'm getting from this. Can you kind of take a moment and examine what is happening? And maybe you need to bring a particular vision back. And the vision will have to do with money or some kind of money-related issues as well. What is it you're trying to create in your life that will bring you the kind of assets or needs, or maybe even material needs that you're trying to get met between these two houses, right? You have to work something out here, and it has to involve other people in that big picture as well. There might be new kind of revisions that you have to make in regards to what the promises are. What are some of the things that you are expecting of yourself, but what are also some of the things you're expecting of other people, so it doesn't lead to kind of heartbreaks or disappointments in the future. Now let's move on to Venus trining Jupiter. Venus is going to be trining Jupiter from your 7th to the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of social belonging, friends, technology, the group mind and vibe. This is also the house of evolution, affiliations, or the collective. Now, this is the kind of energy that you are taking a look at. This is the good news for you because you're bringing in some new energy here that is allowing for you to lead up to new choices by the end of this week between your relationships and what it is that you are trying to create more of in your life. That is the good news. This is where the energy is coming in for you, where you can bring more awareness and fine tune your needs and what makes you ultimately really, really happy. So the spiritual advice card here is the Three of Swords. And immediately what I'm getting from this is that there is a particular relationship dynamic in your life right now that is asking for you to just let go of the past. For Taurus and Taurus rising, the Venus-Pluto square is going to be happening between your 6th house and your 9th house. The 6th house is usually a house where we're taking a look at lifestyle, health, daily patterns. The 9th house is the house of the expansion of the higher mind, studies, freedom, philosophies. So that's where the square is happening between these two houses. There could be some choices that need to be evaluated when it comes to your lifestyle, your daily patterns, because there's some kind of instability or disappointment that is starting to come up. Maybe you're not feeling so free. You're trying to sort of take a look at what your philosophy is when it comes to the actions that you're taking in your day-to-day life. And so something is coming and disrupting this process here for you because you are trying to free your daily habits, or you're trying to free your mind so you can see things from a different angle. So that's what I'm seeing here between the square. Your guiding message, what is it? So the Seven of Cups fell out and it's reversed. Maybe too many options. Maybe too many options. Maybe things that you are trying to focus on that are not the right type of focuses either. So maybe you're making some health choices right now that are not the best, or you're taking a look at patterns or something in your schedule isn't working out and it's keeping you sort of in this place where you can't see your life from a different kind of, point of view, or you feel like you're not free enough. Something needs to change here in this area. So maybe what the solution here with the Seven of Cups reversed is that you need to throw out all the options and really stick to what you feel is like the necessary thing to focus on right now in your day-to-day patterns in your lifestyle. And that is going to maybe free up more space for you to pay attention to new incoming energy. Now, the incoming energy, the new energy that is being created here between Venus, Trine, Jupiter in Aquarius is going to be happening between your 6th and your 10th house. And here, the 10th house is your career, your legacy. And here you are going to become stronger and fine tune your needs and what makes you happy. Now, the guiding message for this house is the Tower. There is an unexpected offer that is going to be coming through here for you when it comes to either a promotion. I do see that there is some type of a promotion or some type of new epiphany that you're going to be making on what it is that you need to do when it comes to your career moves, when it comes to your legacy, when it comes to the deliberate action that you maybe didn't know before what you needed to do, but now you know what it is that you are wanting to do, because the goal is going to change this week. You're going to find yourself actually a lot happier with this new epiphany or this new option or promotion that is going to come through. And that in return, I feel is going to work out whatever it is that you are looking at when it comes to your lifestyle choices, because maybe you've been trying to look in the wrong areas to try to reconcile your lifestyle, but your career is going to start to bring in this fresh energy so that you can work out this other area in your life as well. For Gemini and Gemini rising, the Venus-Pluto square is going to be happening between your 5th and your 8th house. The 5th house is the house of purpose, expressing yourself in all things you love, and the vibe that you are attracting into your life, the vibe that you really like, the vibe that you are even generating. That is the 5th house very often for me when I take a look at this particular house right here. It's also the house of children. Now, the 8th house is the house of boundaries, trust, shared resources, mystery, This is the house of also sex and intimacy. So you are going to be taking a look at what is creating instabilities, what disappointments you need to work through in order to make better choices when it comes to expressing yourself in all things that you are trying to bring into your life more, or that you love. Now, the spiritual or guiding message card is the World. So there is an ending that is coming through, and the ending has to do with a form of energetic addiction, almost like, I don't see that it's like a material aspect, but it is sort of an addiction that is energetic. Maybe a particular vibe or a particular feeling, you're starting to see that it's not a part of your life anymore. You don't want this to be a part of your life anymore, but it's been happening behind the scenes. You have not really talked about it, or you haven't really shared it with anyone, unless there was someone else that was involved with it. I do see that you are trying to let this thing go and not make a big deal out of it. Now, you are going to be reconciling this or trying to make this better through the Venus, Trine, and Jupiter between the 5th and the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of expansion of the higher mind, studies, freedom, philosophies. And so you are going to be reconciling and fine-tuning between this 9th and the 5th house right here. Now, the thing that I'm seeing here, the guiding message for all of the Geminis, is the King of Cups. The King of Cups basically says that you are finding some peace now when it comes to your needs, especially in the 5th house. So what makes your heart happy, right? It could also be a issue that you have been dealing with. For some of you Geminis, if you have children, it could be also the way in which you're showing up for your children, because the 5th house can also rule that. But the guiding message here is that you're overcoming this emotional need that you used to have. You used to fulfill yourself in this particular way, but it's just not working for you anymore. So the King of Cups gives you a boundary that you're starting to recognize that needs to be set. But I don't think that you're going to necessarily get to the actual boundary setting until Venus goes into Scorpio. But for now, I think that you're just starting to make this awareness that you're a different person now. Your life is heading in a new future, and this future is going to be new. It's brand new, something you have never discovered before. And I think a part of this scares you a little bit, Gemini. I don't know why this is coming up for me for you, but just know that there is freedom here. And the freedom has to do a lot with you changing your mind on what it is that you are wanting to do in regards to your happiness, in regards to your heart, in regards to you expressing yourself with your purpose. This is very much connected to your purpose and how you are wanting to bring more of your purpose into this world, into your life. So that's what I'm seeing here with the King of Cups. And Cancer rising, the Venus-Pluto square is happening between your 4th and the 7th house. The 4th house is your house. It's emotional security, home, family. The 7th house, the house of relationship, contracts, and bonds. There's some instabilities, some disappointments that are coming up in the 7th house. This has to do with others. This has to do with getting your needs met by others, or some kind of needs that are not being met, or choices that have been made that are now outdated in relationships. That's what I'm seeing here. Now, Venus is trying to also have you pay attention to bring this balance into your home, family, emotional security. There's sort of choices or needs that need to be met or made in order for you to bring a healthier balance back into your life. Your guiding message here is the 2 of Wands. This is beautiful because I really do feel that whatever shakes you up between these 2 houses this week, you are really being invited here to work with this energy to draw up a new plan. It has to do with a new plan. You have to write it though. You have to write it down, or you have to negotiate the terms somehow. The negotiation part is going to be really, really important, because I see for many of you, you are trying to overcome a past emotional sort of pattern. It feels like it's a pattern. It feels like it's something that you're trying to overcome, but perhaps you're not getting the kind of support that you're looking for from the 7th house situation, from the relationship, from the contract, somehow from the bond that you have what is it that you need? What type of specific need do you have that you haven't maybe brought out onto the table? That's what I'm seeing here between these two houses. Now, you're also gaining a lot of awareness between Venus and Jupiter trining from your fourth house to the eighth house. The eighth house is boundaries, trust, shared resources, mystery, it's intimacy. Maybe there are some things here that you are becoming aware of, that things have changed when it comes to the way in which you are setting boundaries and the way in which you are, creating trust in your life. And as a result, you are realizing that these are the types of vibes or energies you're trying to bring into your life more of, and you're fine-tuning this happiness here. The guiding message for what's coming up here is the 10 of Swords reverse. That's really interesting because you don't feel as defeated. I think what is coming up for you this week with this trine and Jupiter is you don't feel as defeated as you used to. And that is a good thing, because when we start to realize that something doesn't defeat us the way that it used to, that something doesn't have to be that type of energy anymore in our lives, that we don't have that relationship to it anymore, it frees us. It frees us. And I love this card for you. That's what I'm seeing here. For Leo and Leo rising, the Venus-Pluto square is happening from your third to your sixth house. The third house where Venus is at, this is the house of the exchange of ideas, mindset shifts that you're trying to create, depending on what planet is here in this house. With Venus, you're definitely examining imbalances with mindset shifts. Intellect, some kind of writing, short travel distances. The sixth house is lifestyle, daily patterns, and your overall health. So there is some kind of instability that you are examining here when it comes to your lifestyle. Something in your lifestyle feels too heavy. That's where Pluto is at. Pluto in Capricorn is basically saying, the lifestyle that you're living right now, it's something that got you to this point. But now it's time for you to shift your mindset. That's literally what I'm seeing for majority of you Leos. Now, for some of you Leos, I also see that not only are you shifting your mindset, but you're also going to get some clues and have some very important conversations with people who are your friends that, you guys are going to just allow for yourself to have a mindset shift when it comes to maybe even the place that you live, right? Like the third house is also your environment. It's the environment that you're in, where you like to live. And that very often to me, the third house can signify that, even though it's also the house of a lot of writing and all that. Very often the third house can be what you're doing, like how you stimulate your mind on a day-to-day basis. And so I really do feel like that you're going to get some clues now. And the guiding message card here for you is the Three of Swords. So something isn't working when it comes to the way that you're living your life and how it is impacting your day-to-day rhythm. Something isn't working anymore. And I feel like for a lot of you, not all of you, but for a lot of you, what is coming through here is you're going to have a conversation with a friend that is going to help you out greatly. This person is going to really just open up your mind to a new way, to a new lifestyle, to a new way in which you can live your life. And it's going to be epic. It's still something you're going to have to, move towards, but it's going to unfold in a big way. You're going to make some huge lifestyle changes as a result of it. Now, there is also more awareness that's coming through with the Venus in Libra trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. That is going to happen between your third and your seventh house. Now, the seventh house, the house of relationship, contracts, bonds with other people, or any kind of needs you're trying to have met here. What is happening at the same time, I feel like for a lot of you Leos, is that you're starting to realize, because of the way in which you were living your life, you're now starting to see that there is an imbalance of happiness that was created in your relationship dynamics as well. So it's no longer going to be the case, because you're uncovering where the instabilities are in your lifestyle. You are now going to make those shifts, and something opens up where I feel like a lot of you are going to be able to forgive yourself for how your relationships have gone. You're becoming stronger in this area. The guiding message card is the King of Pentacles. A lot of you are going to either just let go of money disappointments that you used to have, or like kind of contracts between you and another person. Some of you are going to be breaking contracts. You're going to just say, I'm not going to, renew the lease. I'm not going to, sign over here anymore. It's over. Like, you are now knowing that you're headed in a new direction. And there could also be some financial kind of situations that you dealt with other people, or bonds you used to have, or agreements you used to have, even marriages or like divorces could be attached to this, where now you're starting to see that that time is coming to an end, and you will not have that kind of bond in this area anymore. An energetic bond is what I'm talking about. You could be separated from the person, but there is sort of a breaking like that is happening now for the better. You're not going to have this issue in your life anymore. And then there's an energy that frees up with it, right? And so I'm excited to hear from you, Leo. So give me a comment below. Let me know how things are unfolding for you. For Virgo and Virgo rising, the energies between Venus and Pluto are going to be happening between your second and your fifth house. The second house, the house of money, spendings, the house of self-worth. And the fifth house, where Pluto is at, is the house of purpose, expressing yourself in all things you love, and also children. Now, this is a house, I think, the fifth house, where you're starting to confront your purpose. A lot of you Virgos, I feel like you are starting to fine-tune your purpose in life. The fifth house to me very often has to do with purpose. For some of you, it's going to be your purpose or your role with your children. For some of you, it is going to be the purpose and the role you play in romance and defining your romance. There is some kind of disappointment that you have experienced in this house. And I feel that the more that you allow for yourself to really break this aspect down and allow for things for shift to hit the fan, you are going to realize that sometimes it's okay for things to just crumble. Sometimes it's okay for things to come down, for you to see that it wasn't built on a foundation that it needed to. And when you identify those pieces, you are able to build something stronger for the future. And the times are changing. We are changing. We're all changing. The world has changed. And the more that things are breaking down, the more you're going to start to see that the things you used to place your self-worth in, that's not it anymore for you. It's not it. It's got to be something different. Something else needs to be at stake. And that's what I'm seeing here between the second and the fifth house. Let's shuffle the cards for your guiding message. The guiding message card is the Five of Cups. You're creating some changes in your life, and they're not easy for you. But is it really true that it has to be this hard? I think a lot of it has to do with you just realizing that you're having a change of heart and accepting that. And the moment that you accept it, you are going to be in this place where things are going to just go more smooth. Maybe you're not being so honest with yourself about what it is that you're having a change of heart about. Maybe you are this person that you were trying to not be. Maybe you are a different person and now it's time for you to accept it, right? The Five of Cups deals with us, instead of going all the way down into this hole, come into an acceptance with what is no longer going to be in your life and what you are accepting about that so that you can move on. The Five of Cups is about your heart is changing, the cups, the heart, the emotions are changing. Just be open to it. And the way that you're going to be open to it is that the second house is going to make that trine to your sixth house. That's where the new energy is coming through. It's a new lifestyle. It's a new daily pattern you're working out. A lot of you have been working on this all year long. I know because I've been reading the chart for some of you. So the awareness is that you're becoming stronger in your lifestyle, in your health daily patterns, especially if you have been dealing with some, long-term health issues. I know me as a sun sign Virgo, I have been dealing with mold illness for the past 2 years. It almost took me out. I almost lost my life in August of 2020. So, you're here and there's a celebration here that is going to happen. You're going to be fine tuning what makes you happy in your day to day. Okay. And so your guiding message here, you can't make this up. The Six of Wands. This is awesome. The Six of Wands is great. It is a card where you're going to make an epiphany that you are physically becoming stronger. The Wands has to do a lot with our physicality. It has to do with our just strength overall. The energy levels are coming back. The Six of Wands says it's time. It's time for you to shine. It's time to step into the picture, into the bigger picture of your life. And your energy is back. Whether it had to do with health issues, whether it had to do with like patterns that you were trying to really strengthen and put into your, life, back into your life, whatever this is, you are, it's go time. That's what the transit is saying, it's go time. Let the purpose come in later. Right now, it's just about accepting that you're changing. And so let the purpose and the definition of purpose, what you know to be true in your heart, that is all going to come. Okay. Right now, it's you creating and going with this new energy and being okay with not knowing what is still to come. It's okay that you don't know. For Libra and Libra rising, the Venus-Pluto square is happening between your first and your fourth house. And let me tell you something about Libra rising people. I'm a Libra rising. You guys, I'm giving you a hug, an energetic hug, because you guys have been going through it. I know you have. The fourth house transits are never easy. And so Pluto being here in the fourth house, going back to the chart here, in the fourth house, that's emotional security, that's home family, that's also your upbringing. A lot of you have been cleaning out in this area. And, it's because the universe said so. A lot of you had to sort of confront old dynamics, old family dynamics, what brings you comfort in life, what your emotional security really stems from, right? But now what you're taking a look at is that as you are coming out of this kind of hole, of this place that, just you've been working through with Pluto, the intensity of that, you're also going to be taking a look at who you are at this time and who you are wanting to become at this time. And you may have already identified this. The first house is the house of identity, who you are, how you appear in the world, your persona, your character, right? And sometimes, we can have a character or a persona, which persona, I think the translation for it is the mask, persona. I'm going to have to look this up. But the translation for persona is some kind of a mask that we put on. You don't have that anymore. There's a part of you that doesn't have to hide from what has happened in the fourth house. That is what you're realizing. You don't have to hide from that anymore. And you might not be just one, particular person. We're all multidimensional. There's different aspects of us. So I feel like for a lot of you, you are working out many different aspects of your life, but it is going to be where you are taking a look at who you are first and foremost and what you want to show now. And so you've been working on this so hard. And what is happening, I think, with this Venus-Pluto square here, the 10 of Wands, the guiding messages, you are overcoming obstacles. You're moving on from this. Congratulations. I'm sorry, because I'm speaking from experience as a Libra rising, there can be so much relationship dynamics that impact Libra rising in particular when it comes to your ideas in the world and how you are moving through the world. And so for you guys, congratulations, you're overcoming a big obstacle. And I think that Pluto is just helping you here to really see that it's time to cut ties with the past and what people were expecting of you too, There's a lot of expectation here as well. Now, the new incoming energy is in your fifth house, and this is the house of purpose, expressing yourself in all things you love, the vibe that you're creating, and even with your children, a lot of you could be having a new kind of vibe, a new energy that is coming through with your children. So that's where Jupiter is at right now, Jupiter in Aquarius, and it's going to be trining to your first house. So the new incoming energy is that you are realizing that what you're vibing with, literally, where your heart is at, literally, it is becoming stronger. And you are a lot more happier. A lot of you will see with this transit that you're a lot more happier than you used to be in the past. And that is a reason to celebrate. The Four of Pentacles, this is going to bring you a new emotional stability as well, right? Four of Pentacles is a card of stability. It is a card that we're holding on to parts of us that we really appreciate. But it's more than that. The Four of Pentacles is also a card that has to do with, spiritual foundation as well. And I think that that is the incoming energy for you, is that, the more that you focus on your purpose, the more that you focus on the things that you love to do, all this stuff in the first house is going to get worked out. All this stuff is going to come into balance, and all the things that you've experienced in this fourth house transit, it just made you stronger. And it's time to celebrate that. It's time to celebrate that. It may also be time to share it later on, but we're going to work through that a little bit more in the upcoming, horoscopes. We're going to take a look at that. Okay, let's move on to Scorpio and Scorpio rising. The Venus-Pluto square is happening between your 12th and the 3rd house. The 12th house is the house of the cosmos, institutions, spirituality, faith, signals you receive telepathically, and introspection work on all levels. The 3rd house for you is where Pluto is at right now. And that is the house of the exchange of ideas, your mindsets, perhaps where you're realizing that you're making a lot of profound mindset shifts. It's also intellect, writing, short distance travel. So the square between these two houses is that you're starting to realize that a lot of, your disappointments right now, they're fueling some change in spirituality and faith, in introspection work that you're wanting to put more of. And perhaps a lot of you are trying to pull back so that you can examine this portion of your life more, who you are in your faith, in your spirituality, because there's a part of you that is not getting along with the exchange of ideas between you and other people. There's sort of a difference between you and what it is that you feel, how it is that you see things and other people. And there's sort of a spiritual kind of clash in a way that is happening for a lot of you. Now, what I'm seeing here with the guidance card is the King of Wands. Everything that's happening right now, it is literally building a different you for the future. But I think that you haven't been able to see that or feel your way through it. There is a very profound shift that is going to be happening for a lot of you this week, where you're going to start to realize that who you are becoming is going to shift the way in which you're relating to other people. It is going to shift in a way in which you're communicating to other people. There was something that you were maybe not doing, and maybe you weren't even aware of it. You didn't have to do this part because you never really got to this point in your life. You didn't have to share yourself this way, but you're going to have this profound shift when it comes to your mindset and the way in which you relate to other people in regards to your spirituality. Maybe you didn't share this aspect of yourself. Maybe you didn't share this portion of your faith, but you're going to share it. That's what you're heading towards. That's what I'm seeing here is that you are going to be in this place where you know where to put your energy. Venus in Libra oftentimes has to do with tact as well, like where to put your energy, where to insert your energy, and where not to do it. So this has to do with where your spirituality, where your faith is taking you at this time, where exactly those exchange of ideas need to go. And so the awareness that you're making here is between your 4th house, emotional security, home, family, and your 12th house. So there is some changes when it comes to family that is going to occur as well. There is a fine tuning, a need that you are going to identify that is already being met, but you're going to fine tune it. You're going to strengthen this aspect. And your guiding message card just fell out. Let me just grab it real quick. This is huge. A lot of you are going to have a breakthrough with a family member. That's the first thing I'm seeing. You're also going to have a breakthrough when it comes to emotional kind of security or stability. There is a particular energy that is coming through, and it ties into a family member as well. It ties into someone that used to impact you in a way that you didn't like. There is a breakthrough happening between the both of you. There is a breakthrough in general when it comes to how you relate to your family, your emotional security. And you're going to start to see that things are really shifting the way that you have always wanted them to be. There is something shifting here. You're going to really embrace this aspect. This is the energy to focus on right now. Because what is also going to happen here is that a lot of your mindset and exchange of ideas will occur in the 4th house as well, because you're starting to realize that, now is the time to kind of open up and let other people just more into your world. Not that you weren't giving them any insight into your world, but there is a part of you that just wanted to close that off. And so now you're starting to see that it's time to open up more. It's time to really share some of the things that have been bugging you. And you've been waiting. You've been waiting, and it's fine. It was part of the way in which you wanted to protect yourself. So that's what I'm seeing here for a lot of you. This is a beautiful card. You know, it's just right from your heart center. You're going to have a new experience here. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, the energies between Venus and Pluto are going to be playing out between your 11th house and your 2nd house. The 11th house, social belonging, friends, technology, group, mind, and vibe, evolution, affiliation, the collective. That is the 11th house. That's where Venus is at right now. In the 2nd house, where you will be identifying instabilities when it comes to money, spendings, or self-worth. The guiding message for you guys is the 7 of Wands. Identifying really where you feel exhaustion. For a lot of you, something is exhausting you when it comes to either money, or even sometimes the 2nd house for me can be what I'm experiencing through reading charts or myself. 2nd house can also be like the way in which you feel supported. So a part of you maybe needs to pull back. You may have to pull back here, and you need to identify why you are maybe spending your money in a particular way, why you are just tearing into your own, self-worth in a particular way. For what, right? The 7 of Wands basically says, whatever it is that you're doing right now, it needs to be re-examined. The instabilities need to be collective, sort of like collecting the data, making sure that you're understanding where your energy is kind of going out. Okay. You need to bring that energy back in. There's a part of you that is constantly giving your energy out in a particular way, and it's just not working anymore. And so the new energy that you're bringing in is going to be from your 3rd house. That's where Jupiter is at. So Venus is going to be trining in the 3rd house, the exchange of ideas, mindsets. You're going to shift your mindset a lot, and you're going to sort of solidify a lot of your mindset shifts that you have been working on this particular week. Now, your guiding message card is the King of Swords. You're cutting a very important person out of your life. This is a person. You're cutting this person out. Conversations are not going anywhere. It is just bringing more anger into your space. And it's someone that is maybe part of the social kind of aspect of your life. Maybe it is also a type of technology for some of you, but it's a vibe that is just not part of you anymore. The other thing that I'm getting here very strongly for a lot of you with that King of Swords energy is that there is going to be a breakthrough in communication with others that is going to pave the way for a new phase and a new cycle in your life. It's going to be a breakthrough. I think you're going to surprise yourself the way in which you're going to communicate. What's most important, though, is to make sure that you are coming from your own intuition, right? Because right now, there's so much conversation going back and forth between people. And a lot of it still is going to change because we are going to be going into a Mercury retrograde phase. Venus is going to go into Scorpio. Mars is going to shift into Libra. There's a lot of stuff that still needs to get worked out. I think a lot of you are kind of feeling that energy. And so what I want to bring into your periphery here with the King of Swords is that there is a lot of opportunity to have breakthroughs, and it has to do with the way in which you communicate, what it is that you're saying, and it is going to pave the way for the future into a new phase in your life. And I want to draw another card. I don't know why I'm feeling drawn to do this, but we're just going with it. 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups basically says, you've been wanting for someone to kind of accept something about yourself, and there's a breakthrough this week. Whatever it is that this person was nagging you about, or if there was sort of no common denominator in your conversations with this person, it is happening this week. And it has to do with you communicating from your heart, saying the thing that you want to say, and that person is going to back off. There's a wish sort of in a way that is coming through. It's a new energy. And so you're going to be fine-tuning this aspect about yourself and your role when it comes to this aspect of life. And it's going to really impact the way in which you think about yourself. That's what I'm seeing here for you, Sagittarius. For Capricorn and Capricorn rising, the Venus-Pluto square is happening between your 10th house, your career legacy, actions, deliberate actions you're taking, and your first house, identity of who you are, how you appear in the world, your character. The guiding message card here is basically that you are really softening. You're softening up who you are in the world. There is a lot of feedback, or a lot of sort of feedback you've been getting over the course of this year. That's what I'm getting, that people are looking at you in just one way. Maybe they admire you for your strength. Maybe they're admiring you for who you are in your career. Maybe they're admiring you for all of these things. But there is a breakdown now that is coming through because a part of you is longing for you to be seen in a different way. And it goes deeper than that, because I feel like Pluto is kind of showing you that you had to be this person in order for you to win certain battles, in order for you to protect yourself. Because Pluto often also has to do with protection. It's the area of our life where we're trying to create protection, where we're trying to create what best supports us so that we can, really build upon, really be the person who we want to be. Depends on where Pluto is at for you in the first house. I think that you are starting to realize that it's sort of a bittersweet kind of victory this week for a lot of you. You're having this bittersweet victory that you had to be this person for so long, but you're not going to be that identity anymore. You're not going to be this person anymore. You're having a character shift. You are wanting to bring another aspect of yourself out. Now, some of the relationship dynamics are going to be playing out in the 10th house. The people who used to be part of your career path as well, or part of your life, some of those relationships are going to start to fade away. And the reason for that is because they are also changing, but you're not on the same vibe anymore. You're not in the same energy field anymore. So allow for that to happen. I feel like that is another message here with the Knight of Cups. Allow for yourself to experience that you are going to just have a shift in who you are out there, how you portray yourself is shifting. And as a result of it, you're following more of your own truth. I'm going to pull one more card for you here. Yep. You're building upon a new you, and you're building upon a new truth. And it's very important that you, right now, integrity somehow is coming up for me for you, that you maintain your integrity. That is very important to you. And so you're going to follow your own truth. And that's what Pluto is basically saying, in order for you to keep moving forward towards these deliberate actions that you're taking, because there's something in your path that is not quite done yet. You are maintaining your integrity. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what they want you to be or who they think that you are. You're going to follow your own truth, and that is going to prove to be the right path for you. That's what I'm seeing here. Now, the new energy is going to be coming from your second house. That's where Jupiter is at in Aquarius. This is where the new energy is coming through in regards to money, spending, self-worth. And then Venus, of course, being in your 10th house, this is where you are going to be redefining your needs when it comes to your career. Now, another thing that is coming through here for me to mention for you is because of the North Node being in your 6th house, there may have been some anxious energy. There may have been some sort of anxiousness in regards to day-to-day life and things that you've been trying to change in this area as well. And it's kind of kept you in this negative energy, or reflecting upon maybe negative things, or not knowing why your mind is so impacted by certain, lifestyle changes you've been trying to make, or old ones, replacing them for new ones. So I think that what you are basically being guided here towards is to reflect upon the things that you have accomplished, to make sure that you're appreciating the things that you have created for yourself, because there could be sort of this aspect that is coming through. It's really interesting that you are not appreciating everything you've accomplished. Something like this may come up, but this new incoming energy that is coming through the second house is that you have accomplished so much. And there is obviously always, something else that you're going to be accomplishing. And so right now it's time to Be deliberate in your happiness, be deliberate in your celebration, be deliberate in celebrating how far you've come and appreciating that. This is very, very important here between the new awareness that you're making. Right now, that trine is really showing you that things are falling into the right places in your life. And when it comes to your self-worth, when it comes to certain money aspects, will you show up for them in the way that, you feel that you need to show up, not what others feel that you need to do. I think the final message for you here, Capricorn, is that you are birthing a new version of you. And so with that, it's time to also celebrate, as well as still continuing to, move towards certain finish lines here. So it's really important here with this new energy and the fine tuning of your happiness to really celebrate what you have accomplished. This is a very, very important message that is coming through from me for you, Capricorn. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, the Venus-Pluto square is happening between your 9th and the 12th house. The 9th house is the house of freedom, philosophies, higher mind, studies, expansion of the higher mind. And the 12th house, where Pluto is at, this is the cosmos, institutions, spirituality, faith, signals you receive telepathically. First thing that I'm seeing here with this Venus-Pluto square for you, Aquarius, is that don't force things right now. There's some very important spiritual, faith-related experiences that are still trying to show you that the Hanged Man, that's your guiding message. I mean, do not force anything right now. Allow for things to come in, to come through you. In particular, allow for spiritual messages or for signals, for omens, for signs to really come through for you, because there could be a part of you that feels like you need to do something about it. You don't, not right now. The Hanged Man here basically says the more that you're still, the more you're going to gain, the more you're going to understand, the more you're going to see what you need to see, because there's sort of a profound shift that is on the other side of this. But right now, you might just not be ready for certain shifts yet, because the other thing that is coming through here for you is because you're being guided to start fresh. Part of you that was holding on to your faith, a particular type of faith, you may have a shift here that is going to still unfold. This is like really hard to explain even, because the 12th house is, oceanic consciousness. So there is a lot that can come up here. It's tied into karmic patterns. It's tied into patterns that feel very karmic, feel very much like they've been around for as long as you have been alive, or some things you've experienced for so long. And now you are having these profound experiences where you're realizing certain parts of your life are coming to an end, and there's such an energetic change that you're moving towards, but there's nothing to do about it. In fact, the more that you're still and the more that you are in a place of allowing and giving space for this energy to unfold, the more you will realize and identify. And I feel like 9 weeks have to do with it. The next 9 weeks are going to be really important, because within the next 9 weeks, you're going to make some important changes in your life, because you will have fueled by a new spiritual faith, or you will have a new faith that sets in, a new part of you that is going to be fueled by this faith and fueled by this spirituality. And you've been sort of hoping for this, but you could have never imagined that it was going to be this way. And so there's still an accepting and working through it, allowing for this new energy to come in. And your job is to hold space in this area. So let's move on to where the new energy is coming through. The new energy is coming through your first house. This is the identity of who you are, how you appear in the world, your persona, your character, and how perfect is this, because this is the aspect that is strengthening in your life. This is where you're fine tuning happiness, and you being happier in the world, literally. These are the types of experiences you could be making in this area of your life, that you're realizing that who you are is just a lot happier now. And I think that there is a celebration of that needs to be held in a way, that who you are, that first house, Six of Wands, I feel like, is literally talking about your first house. It is expanding and creating a lot more freedom in your life. This energy, though, is working still in a way where there is acceptance is key. The Six of Wands also has to do with accepting that incoming light, right? Allowing for yourself to just stand and receive, which is what the woman is doing in this card as well. Are you going to allow for yourself to receive this new energy? This is so key to fine-tuning your happiness moving forward. That's what I'm seeing here for you, Aquarius. For Pisces and Pisces rising, the Venus-Pluto square is going to be happening between your 8th and your 11th house. The 8th house is the house of boundaries, trust, shared resources, mystery, sex, intimacy. The 11th house, where Pluto is at, this is your social belonging, friends, technology, the group mind and vibe, affiliations. And so I feel like that this square is bringing up a breakdown of a social belonging, a breakdown of maybe a group of people that you also used to consider friends. And you used to have maybe some shared resources here with this group of people, or some kind of investments you used to have. It could also be just investment in general of, your time. And so I feel like Venus in Libra is showing you what is out of balance here. And the card that came out for you, Pisces, is the 8 of Wands. You're going to take action to put down boundaries here now, because it is so important for you to be able to trust certain people. And what's coming up is that they have mismanaged something. That's what I'm seeing here. They have mismanaged something, a group of people. They have mismanaged, or maybe have said things that are not true. There's some kind of lies that are coming up to the surface. I feel like that there is going to be a little bit of a temporary heartbreak, because you feel that you weren't expecting this. It's coming through fairly quickly, but it's also allowing for you to pay attention to your own faith. Why am I saying that? Because the trine that's going to happen is going to happen between your 8th and the 12th house. The 8th house, your boundaries, your trust, your shared resources, right? And then the 12th house is the house of the cosmos, institution, spirituality, your faith, and introspection work in general. So there's new energy that is coming through. You are literally feeling like you're receiving all of the signs you've been looking for with this trine. Jupiter is giving you this gift. You're receiving all of the signs to be in charge again, to take charge of the things in your life that you've been wanting to take charge about. What are some of those things that you're taking charge of? I feel like you're going to be making some really important decisions and choices this week that will lead to a different relationship dynamic. It will lead to old energy moving out, new energy coming in, and it has to do with you bringing more harmony when it comes to how you are intimate, what intimacy actually is for you. There is a restoration here that is going to be happening, and as one part of your life is coming to an end when it comes to social belonging, when it comes to friends, affiliations, you are now strengthening what's happening behind the scenes in the 8th house. You're strengthening shared resources. You're strengthening sort of relationship dynamics that are really close to you, and you're reestablishing trust in this area. And that's what there is to focus on. I do feel like I need to pull one more card for you. Yes, you're diving into calmer waters. The more secrets or the more lies that are coming up to the surface, the more you're allowing for yourself to dive into this aspect of your life where it's just baggage, it's just baggage. It's like old stuff that keeps repeating itself, and your spirituality is becoming stronger. That's the gift right now. It's an energy that's kind of taking over when it comes to your faith. You have faith in certain people. You have faith in certain aspects of your life that are going to show you that it's time for you to create more harmony and strengthen this aspect. So you're in a preparation mode, but it has to do sort of energetically. You're in a preparation mode, or you're preparing in a way with your faith. And so that's what I'm seeing here for you, Pisces, for this week. If you found this very helpful to you, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button and you ring the bell. And then that way you're always going to be in contact with me every time I put out a new horoscope video. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week.